Have you ever noticed how some people can guide your thoughts without raising their voice, without even asking directly, and yet, somehow, you end up doing exactly what they wanted? It's not magic, it's language. More precisely, it's hypnotic language. The psychological art of using words to slip past your defenses. You see, the human brain doesn't just listen to information. It feels rhythm, tone, and emotion. When someone speaks slowly, gently, and makes you feel seen, your subconscious begins to relax. The voice feels safe, so the mind quiets, and in that silence, suggestion begins to take root. You're not aware of it, because your brain mistakes calmness for truth. It's the same trick cult leaders, advertisers, and toxic partners use. They don't command you, they invite you. That's the sweet voice trap. But sound alone isn't enough. Imagery is the next weapon. When someone paints vivid mental pictures, a calm sea, a golden sunrise, a comforting embrace, your body begins to feel those emotions as if they're real. And that's where the manipulation slips in. As you relax, you realize you can trust me. That small suggestion rides the emotional wave straight into your subconscious. It feels real because your body has already begun to live it. Then there's the illusion of choice, one of the darkest tools in hypnotic persuasion. A manipulator might say, "Would you like to sign now or after lunch?" Either option leads to the same outcome, but your mind is deceived into thinking it had control. This double bind technique shuts down resistance because your brain is wired to reduce conflict, especially when a choice feels peaceful. Another layer of control comes from embedded commands. When someone says, as you listen, you'll begin to understand why this matters. It sounds innocent, but beneath it lies a coded instruction. Accept what I'm saying. It bypasses logic and plants directly into your behavior. People then act, not because they were forced, but because their own thoughts have been gently reprogrammed to obey. And then comes repetition, the oldest manipulation tool in history. Repetition doesn't just reinforce ideas, it rewires perception. When the same phrase or slogan is repeated rhythmically, your mind mistakes familiarity for truth. That's why propaganda works. That's why marketing jingles stick. The more often you hear something, the more likely you are to believe it. But perhaps the most dangerous tactic of all is what psychologists call the cognitive trap. When something sounds confusing or contradictory, your brain tries to make sense of it. It fills in the mental gaps to protect itself from uncertainty. And once your brain solves the confusion, you start believing you understood the speaker, even when their words were empty. The manipulator didn't convince you. You convinced yourself. Your own intelligence became their tool. This is why hypnotic language is so powerful. It doesn't fight your reasoning. It hijacks it. Humans are social creatures. For thousands of years, survival meant belonging to a group. Language was the bridge that kept groups united, and that ancient wiring still lives inside you. The need to belong, the need to agree, the need to trust words that sound confident and kind. Dark psychology exploits that instinct, turning connection into control. But awareness is your greatest defense. The next time someone speaks with unusual charm, or their tone feels too soothing, pause. Ask, why does this feel good to hear? When you notice repeated emotional phrases, stop and question them. When every choice leads to the same conclusion, ask, what am I missing? And when a speaker says, as you think about this, you'll agree. Recognize it for what it is. Programming. Because hypnotic language isn't always evil. In therapy or motivation, it can heal. But in manipulation, it becomes a weapon that rewires your perception before you ever notice. The question is, who do you give permission to guide your mind? The words you let in will shape your beliefs, your emotions, your reality. They can either build walls around your mind or set it free. The power is yours, but only if you stay awake while listening.